Hey everybody, it's Rob from Flailthroughs. This is Gundam Battle Operation 2, and this is a request from Breacher who wanted a mobile suit in red and black with white trim. I went with the Zeta Gundam just because I enjoy using it, and it had been a while, and I thought it looked good in the those colors when I gave it a try. So that is what we are looking at here, and there is a Riga-Z trying to ruin everybody's day, as Riga-Zs are wont to do. And I'm going to stab it in the shins with my bayonet. There we go. And follow up with a big downswing to the feet, because it's really kind of hard to do some of those acrobatics when you don't have legs. So that is the goal. And it is now out of iframes, and it's about to be out of feet if it ain't out of life. It's out of life. And there we go. Yeah, so got it. Successfully protected our Nemo 3, which is in standard Nemo colors, and worked out very nicely that way, I might add. Let's see, someone is already bombing our base. This is a great time for an editorial I've been meaning to have lately because of a couple of miserable rounds I had the Saturday afternoon before I recorded this. Don't bomb the base at the beginning of the match. Just do not. You're not going to get the most possible value out of it. And generally what's going to happen, unless your team is really together and is handling the entire enemy team one person down, what you're going to get is your team wiped, which is worth more points than what you get for the bomb this early in the match. So don't do it, please. So yeah, I had 2 matches in a row where people did not get this valuable lesson, and we lost big time, and it was frustrating. And then I got the Pale Rider D2, because the days I have the worst matches are the days I get the best drops, it seems like. So that is that story. But as you can tell, I still got a little bit worked up about it, so yeah. But, you know, I will be better. Okay, good power attack from one of our Riga-Z. That took that out very easily. And I am going to try and capture this point if I have time. Do I have time? I think I have time. Yeah. So, yeah, that was a thing, but this round so far is going significantly better. The enemy team is barely keeping up with us, but as you can see, we managed to pretty much take out their first wave, and we have more points than they got for bombing our base. So, you know, case in point, here we are. That is a Hama, I think, which we just took down. Now the enemy team is pulling ahead a little bit now, because they did manage to weaken us pretty significantly when we were fighting that first engagement. So, you know, it can work. It just, in my personal experience, it is less likely to work than just sticking together and winning that first engagement and then moving on to fight however you like. If you've had different experiences, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I'm always happy to hear different opinions on how to play this, because God knows I am not always right. I'm not even close to always right. I just, you know, we all have strong opinions about how this game should be played, and sometimes I think the worst times we have with this game tend to be when not when the teams are playing poorly so much as those opinions are clearly clashing. And I was very happy with that kill, I will say. I'm about to die for it, but yeah, I managed to Wave Rider crash somebody to death, which is always a fun time. But yeah, just I feel like clashing philosophies of how to play the game it creates more frustration than actual skill differentials, because that's just what it seems like to me. Just kind of I think I've told this anecdote before, but my brother and his girlfriend, Isfan and Angel, are Final Fantasy XIV players. They spent a lot of time on the Euro servers, and on the Euro servers, the French players were kind of looked down on by a lot of the other players because they were watching French tutorials which had entirely different directions and methods on how to beat the major bosses. So everybody would get into a match and be using their own methods to fight something, and those methods did not work together. And so that's a story I try to think about every once in a while in terms of this game, because yeah, I'm sure just since the nature of online communities and language barriers and all that means we have just entire different little pockets of players who are all going to end up playing a little bit differently. it just, man, I got regazied real hard there. It just means that we're gonna come to cross purposes with our teammates sometimes, and it's just gonna be really frustrating. So, yeah, something I try to keep in mind, because just, yeah, this game, I really enjoy this game. I think it has a lot of virtues, but it'll drive you crazy if you let it. So, mostly don't let it. Just, especially when you're doing YouTube for it, it's hard to take a break from sometimes, and gotcha games are set up to discourage you from taking any breaks. But man, that's, for one thing, that's why I'm so glad AB rooms are back, because yeah, some days I just do not have it in me to deal. So that is a boon. Managed to get that Zeta before it stabbed me, so that's something. And yeah, I feel like Zeta just has a certain like smoothness to how it controls. I think even more so than most of the other transforming mobile suits. Just it feels very fluid when you get on a good roll and you start transforming and attacking and things like that. Just, I don't know why Zeta in particular does. Maybe it's just how I'm thinking of it, but yeah, Zeta feels good to me and has a lot of good options at different ranges and can do a lot of good stuff. So yeah, I like it. Hit that Regazi shield, but did eventually, hit it in the feet with a grenade launcher until it died, so. And we are pulling ahead to a pretty good amount, 13,350 to 9,360, so 4,000 point lead. And we've got 90 seconds left, so we ought to be able to keep that for 90 seconds. Even if they were to wipe us, I think we'd still be a tiny bit ahead. Depends on the assists, honestly, at 600. But I think we would. And just kind of hanging back, trying to throw out damage and not get myself surrounded, because there's, naturally with only a minute left, and that is a Zeta plus A1 that I'm throwing a lot of shots into. But yeah, with only a minute left, they are going to be fighting their absolute hardest to try and make up this point difference, so it's a good time to be at least a little careful. And that reminds me of Seraphic Zero's colors, but the gold is definitely not shiny enough. So, but it's definitely in the neighborhood. And yeah, I have, after saying I shouldn't get myself surrounded, I've gotten myself surrounded. And yep, Gabfleet took down my shield, which means I have a couple extra seconds to live. The other Zeta got a lot of damage into me too, so it's probably best if I just run for a different target where hopefully nobody's shooting me in the back. Unfortunately, I got stuck on the ship, and that is gonna... Well, I'm not dead quite yet. I'm gonna try and Wave Rider somebody to death here, and not quite succeed and die, but just at the very end, so... Yeah, I think it was a pretty good round all told. And let's see what we got. And yeah, like I said, I think the color scheme came out pretty well. So, yeah, top score, 119,000 damage. So it's a pretty good performance all in all. And yeah, that's and I think 6 and 3 is what it said. Yeah, so that is gonna do it for today's Gundam Battle Operation 2. I hope you enjoyed the round breacher, and until next time, everybody take care and have fun. Later! Thinking about it, just going by the high-grade kits, there is one more flavor of Zeta Plus they could get into the game sometime soon, which is the Unicorn version, which has most of the A1 gear, but is in the C1 colors. So we could end up with one more, which I would be perfectly happy with. Meantime, of course, there are also the Gundam Evolve Zeta variants, which, yeah, be happy to see those too, but we'll see what happens.